Welcome. I am Laura Chididuyan. So this day I'm gonna report to you my assigned topic, which is the story of A Rose for Emily by William Faulkner. What makes a literary piece a significant contribution to the world? The story of A Rose for Emily allows us to learn from the past about the reality of life on earth from the ones who walked before us. The story will serve as an eye opener that we cannot stop changes. We must learn to adapt and accept societal development. Southern ideal was changing, a sign of modernity in a town that simultaneously wanted to move forward and still maintain a social ideal. Emily, a stubborn, overly attached and introverted woman, did not have to pay taxes for the rest of her life. She will not even allow postal numbers to be put on her house, a symbolic gesture on her part to resist what the town sees as progress. As we find ourselves in an increasingly globalized society, we must have knowledge that includes nations, cultures, and worldviews beyond our own borders. Give your 10 sentences summary of your understanding of the literary piece. So, my understanding of the literary piece is that the story centers on an unmarried woman by the name of Miss Emily Gerson who is living in the American South in a large house. We learn that over 30 years earlier, Emily's father had died under rather suspicious circumstances. Emily's sweetheart abandoned her around this time and she became increasingly reclusive, rarely leaving her home where she lived with only an African American servant woman. Emily is alone, having been abandoned by her supposed fiancé and her father having passed away. Emily never leaves the house. Growing old and fat, she very rarely talks to anyone, never pays her taxes, and eventually dies of old age. So if it is a story, then give at least three important characters with description, setting, and plot. And if it is a poem, then give the theme and description, the literary devices in the poem. So this is a story. The character is that Emily Gerson, the main character of the story, Homer Baron, Emily's romantic interest, Colonel Sartanis, the former mayor who remitted Emily's taxes, setting Jefferson, theme, people should let go of the past, moving on with the present so that they can prepare to welcome their future. Another theme is that societal changes, the inability of the American society to accept the change and leave the past behind. A Rose for Emily plot diagram. So this is the plot diagram. Introduction. Jefferson's citizens gather for Emily Gerson's funeral. Rising action. In flashback, readers learn Emily was told to pay her taxes. A flashback shows elder men spreading lime secretly. Another flashback reveals Emily's purchase of arsenic. Climax: townspeople break down the door to a locked bedroom. Falling action: Homer Baron's decomposed body is on the bed. Resolution: on the pillow beside him rests a long strand of gray hair. What are your comments to the assigned literary piece? My comment of the literary piece is that Emily is desperately trapped in the past, since she has not been able to adjust to the changes brought on by time. While progress is possible, the past will always remain. The town of Jefferson wants to modernize, but Emily and the Old South values that she represents refuses to yield to progress. Thus, A Rose for Emily is a successful story not only because of its intricately complex chronology but also because of its unique narrative point of view. So that's all my report. Thank you for listening.